Not all dopamine is created equal. A cup of coffee and a slot machine both spike your dopamine, but one gives you a Monday morning, the other takes everything you have. The difference isn't how much dopamine they release, it's what they do to your brain's baseline afterward. And that's the thing nobody explains. Every dopamine source in your life, from your morning run to your midnight scroll, sits on a spectrum. Some of them are rebuilding your brain. Others are quietly destroying it. And one of them, one specific source that you probably use every single day, is doing more damage than you think. So I ranked them, all of them, from F tier, the ones your brain actually needs, all the way up to S tier, the one source that's silently rewiring your brain. F tier isn't bad. F tier is where you want to live. These are the dopamine sources that your brain was actually designed for. First, physical movement. Walking, running, lifting, doesn't matter what kind. Exercise releases dopamine at a rate your brain can handle. It goes up, it comes back down naturally, and your baseline stays intact. Your ancestors did this every day. Your brain expects it. Second, sunlight. 15 minutes of morning sun triggers dopamine production through your retinas. This isn't wellness influencer talk. This is basic photoneuroendocrinology. Your brain literally needs light to calibrate its chemistry. Third, completing something with your hands. Cooking a meal, fixing something, building something. The dopamine you get from finishing a real-world task is slow, earned, and it reinforces the behavior. Your brain says that was worth it. Do it again. The pattern in F tier is simple. These sources are slow, they're earned, and they leave your baseline where it should be, or slightly higher. They make normal life feel good. Remember that, because everything above this tier does the opposite. D tier, still mostly fine, but the line starts to blur here. Music. Listening to music releases dopamine, sometimes a lot of it, especially when a song gives you chills. That's your brain predicting a peak and rewarding itself for the anticipation. It's not harmful in moderation, but here's the thing. If you're listening to music every second of the day to avoid silence, you're not enjoying music anymore. You're using it as a buffer against your own thoughts. And that pattern is worth paying attention to. Food, real food, not junk food, we'll get to that. A well-cooked meal, eaten without a screen in front of you, is D tier. Your brain gets a moderate dopamine hit, you feel satisfied, it resets. But notice how rare that actually is for most people. When was the last time you ate a meal in silence, tasting every bite, without your phone next to your plate? Coffee. Caffeine doesn't create dopamine directly, it blocks adenosine, which indirectly raises dopamine levels by about 30%. It's manageable, but if you need 3 cups before you can function, you're not drinking coffee. You're medicating a dopamine deficit with a socially acceptable drug. C tier is where most people live, and it's where the damage starts to become invisible. Video games. Before you get defensive, gaming isn't inherently bad. A single-player game with a narrative arc, played for an hour, is entertainment. The problem is what modern games have become. Loot boxes, battle passes, ranked matchmaking. These are variable ratio reinforcement schedules, the same mechanism as a slot machine. Not all games are equal, but if you're playing 4 hours a night and you can't stop even when you're not having fun anymore, that's not entertainment. That's your brain chasing a dopamine pattern it can't complete. YouTube itself. Right now, you're getting dopamine from this video. The recommendation algorithm is designed to keep you here by serving you the next best hit. Every autoplay is another pull on the lever. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I make content for this platform. But I need you to know, binge-watching educational content is still binge-watching. Learning is not the same as doing. And if you watch 10 videos about fixing your life but change nothing, you've just found a more sophisticated way to numb yourself, junk food. Engineered to hit your dopamine system harder than any natural food ever could. Sugar, salt, fat, in combinations that don't exist in nature. One bag of chips delivers a dopamine spike that makes a home-cooked meal feel boring by comparison. And that's the real damage. It doesn't just feel good. It makes everything else feel worse. B tier. This is where it stops being a gray area. Social media, not just scrolling, the entire architecture. The likes are variable rewards. The notifications are Pavlovian triggers. The comparison is a dopamine and cortisol cocktail that your brain processes as a survival threat. You're not connecting with people. You're performing for an algorithm that was designed by people who understand your reward circuitry better than you do. But here's the piece most people miss. It's not the scroll that's the most damaging part. It's the check. The moment you pick up your phone without a reason, just to see if anything happened. That micro behavior, repeated 80 times a day, trains your brain to need external validation, at a frequency that no real relationship can match. Your friendships can't compete with that refresh rate, so they start to feel empty. And you blame the friendships, online shopping, and impulse buying. The dopamine doesn't come from the purchase. It comes from the browsing, the anticipation. Every item you add to your cart is a micro hit. The moment the package arrives, you feel almost nothing. That gap between anticipation and reality is the signature of a dopamine trap. You're not buying things. You're buying the feeling of wanting things. Dating apps. Swipe right is a slot machine pull. Each new match is a spike. Each conversation that goes nowhere is a crash. The cycle repeats. You're not looking for connection. Your brain is farming micro hits of novelty. And every swipe recalibrates your sense of what a real person is worth. Real attraction becomes boring compared to infinite options. A tier. The sources that are actively rewiring your brain in real time. High-speed, short-form content. I'm talking about TikTok-style scrolling, not all short content. Specifically, the infinite vertical scroll, where each video is a complete dopamine cycle in under 30 seconds. Your brain gets novelty, anticipation, punchline, reset. Novelty, anticipation, punchline, reset. Hundreds of times in a single session. A neuroscience lab at the University of Western Ontario found that this pattern reduces your sustained attention capacity within weeks, not months. Weeks. Your ability to focus on a single task for more than 4 minutes degrades measurably. And the worst part, you won't notice it happening. You'll just feel like you've become lazy, but you haven't. Your hardware has been altered. Gambling, including sports betting, online poker, crypto day trading. Anything where you risk something for an unpredictable reward. The variable ratio reinforcement is at its most potent here. Your brain doesn't differentiate between winning and almost winning. Both release dopamine, which means losing still feels like progress. That's not a design flaw. That's the business model. S tier, one source, the one most people won't talk about. You know what it is, and you know you use it. Not because of morality, not because of religion, because of what it does to your neurochemistry. It combines every element of maximum dopamine destruction into one experience. Infinite novelty. Every click is a new scenario. Zero effort, no vulnerability, no emotional risk. Escalation. Your brain adapts, needs more extreme content to achieve the same hit. And the Coolidge effect, a biological mechanism that resets arousal in response to novelty, hijacked by an infinite supply of pixels. The result, your brain's reward threshold gets pushed so high that a real human being standing in front of you, offering genuine intimacy, feels like nothing. Not because something is wrong with you, because your brain has been trained to expect a level of stimulation that reality cannot deliver. This is not an opinion. The research on this is extensive, peer-reviewed, and growing every year. And yet almost nobody in the self-improvement space ranks it honestly. They talk about cold showers and morning routines, but won't touch this. I will, because this channel isn't here to make you feel comfortable. It's here to make you see clearly. So now you know the list. The question is, what do you do about it? You don't need to eliminate everything above F tier. That's not realistic, and it's not the point. The point is to understand your ratio. Right now, for most of you, your daily dopamine diet looks like this. 80% of your stimulation comes from B tier and above. You wake up and check your phone, you scroll during breakfast, you work with 12 tabs open, you come home to video games or content or something worse. And the 20% that's F tier, the walk you take sometimes, the meal you cook once a week, can't offset that imbalance. The protocol is simple. Flip the ratio. Step 1. Audit your day honestly. Write down every dopamine source you use in a typical day. Don't judge it, just list it. Then assign a tier. See where you are. Step 2. Protect the first hour. No screen, no input, no stimulation for the first 60 minutes of your day. This alone resets your dopamine baseline by giving your brain a clean runway before the noise starts. Step 3. Replace, don't remove. You can't just delete social media and white knuckle through the boredom. Your brain will find another hit. Instead, replace B tier sources with D and F tier sources. Instead of scrolling before bed, read. Instead of eating junk at your desk, cook something real. Step 4. Schedule your poison. You don't have to be a monk. Pick 1 hour a day, maybe after dinner, where everything above C tier is allowed. Guilt-free, contained. When dopamine has a schedule, it stops being your master. The one rule that matters more than any tier list. If a dopamine source makes the rest of your life feel boring by comparison, it's too high on the list. That's the test, not whether it feels good in the moment. whether it makes everything else feel worse. A walk should feel interesting. A conversation should feel engaging. A quiet evening should feel peaceful, not empty. If those things feel like nothing to you right now, it's not because life is boring. It's because your tier list is upside down. Flip it. Rewire your default.